Hello and welcome to Sureena Speaks, and in this video I think it's a good idea to go through what to expect on the actual exam day. Now personally I think it makes things a little bit easier when you kind of can visually imagine in your head what actually is going to happen on the day, where you're going to stand, where you're going to sit. It just makes the whole idea of the exam kind of less daunting. At least that's how I feel. And I kind of wish that I had someone to tell me what to actually expect from the day step by step. So that's what I'm going to do for you. Now, again, I can only go by my own personal experiences and the process that I went through. So it might be very similar for some of you. For some of you, it might be slightly different. But I sat the exam in the London Excel Centre, where a lot of students will be sitting the exam. Now, firstly, what I would say is know exactly where you are going. I'm sure you've probably heard that numerous times, to plan ahead and plan your journey ahead, but it is very true because I thought I knew where I was going, ended up getting on the wrong train because it was the DLR and the DLR confused me. Luckily, I did leave with plenty of time to spare, so I didn't turn up late or anything like that. But of course, when you're getting on the wrong train, first thing in the morning on the day of the exam, it can panic you a little bit, and it isn't really a position that you want to be in. So on the day, know exactly which station you need to go on, which train you need to go on, and if in doubt, there are always other people there, so just ask them. So that would be my first tip. Secondly, now, again, I'm one of those people where if just before I have an exam, I don't really like to interact with anybody else. The reason being because people will start asking, do you know how to do this? Do you know how to do that? And they get into a bit of a panic, and then that gets me into a bit of a panic. And so I just like to stay clear of any of that. So the good thing about the London Excel Centre is that it is massive, so you can find a little corner to just sit and hide. And maybe you're one of those people that needs to read all their notes before sitting an exam, or they need to do a few calculations questions before doing the exam, or you're someone like me who just likes to sit there, not really go over any notes in the morning, but just relax my mind, get my game face on, get in the zone. But whatever works for you, do that. And if your friend sitting next to you is panicking, looking over their question papers and revision notes and whatever else, don't feel like you have to do that. Like I said, do what works best for you. So when you enter the exam, you should have already been told, you'll be told which centre you'll be doing the exam, and you might be given a colour as well. So when I was doing it, there were 4 colours. There was red, yellow, blue and green. I was in green, and it's based on your surname. So A to something is one colour, C to whatever letter is another colour, and so forth. So when you arrive, go to your designated colour and you'll have to sign in, and you'll have to show them proof of ID. So that's either a UK or European driving licence or a valid passport. So don't forget any of those documents. You'll have to sign in. The signature you use will be the signature that will be across all your documents and the one that they will compare against. So don't start changing up your signature last minute. Just use consistently the same signature throughout that you've always been using. So that's sort of the registration process. Go in, line up, go to colour, sign in, show them your documents. After you've done that, there will be a bit of a lull before you go in. And if any of you haven't been to the Excel Centre, where you sit in the actual hall room, as it were, it kind of feels like a garage. Because once you've entered the room, they put the shutters down on you, obviously because they don't want you to be disturbed by any outside noise or anything like that. So you feel like you're in this weird garage type room with the shutters down, locked in a room. But it's a massive room. There is toilet access, so don't worry about that. And be careful what bag size you take with you. Sounds like a weird one, but big bags, or if you have suitcases with you, because some people do stay at hotels nearby, which is a really good idea, and then they have to take their luggage with them. You can leave it on the side of the room, but if you want to keep your belongings with you, it has to be in a bag that's small enough to fit under your chair or under your table. The same goes with any coats or jackets that you take with you. Either you leave them in the side of the room or it has to fit underneath your chair or underneath your table. You can't leave it hanging on your actual chair. They'll ask you to take it away. So don't be taking like really big baggy coats with you and big baggy jackets and big bags and trying to squeeze them all under your chair or under your table, because it's one of those tables that is just for like one person. It's not a massive amount of space, and if it is overflowing all your stuff, then they will ask you to move it. So if you're all right with keeping on the side, fair enough. But if you do want to keep it sort of with you, then make sure it is small enough to fit under your table. Now, what stationery should you bring? Well, make sure you bring the calculator that is authorised and allowed. Don't be bringing in any other calculators, because they will not let you use that calculator and they won't have any other spares to give you. So make sure that you only take in with you the authorised calculators that you can. Take in a million pencils, take in rubbers, sharpeners, rulers, can take a pen as well, take a couple pens, your standard things. Water or non-fizzy drinks are usually allowed. Usually though, you have to take the labels off them, and they don't really allow you to have any food unless it's like cough sweets or something like that. But again, remember your desk is quite small, so you don't want to bombard it with a million things. And your IDs, they will want you to keep on the desk as well, because as you sit down and for the first few minutes, they'll allow you to go like read over the paper before you actually start the paper. Someone usually comes around and they tick off that you are who you are and you're sitting in the right seat and all that kind of thing. So that's when you're sitting the exam. Then they'll give you a bit of a break, and there are like food places there. I mean, you can bring your own sandwiches, but there are food places available, and I'm sure in other centres as well there will be food places around. But it might just be an idea to check beforehand if what is available, and you might then decide to read over your notes for the next part of the exam, which would then be the clinical paper, or you might just want to just chill out, take it easy, just relax your mind. And again, I remember when I did the exam, I didn't really want to talk to anyone in between the papers, because then you get those people that are like, what did you get for question 8? I got 18. What did you get? Oh, did you get 19? Oh no, maybe I got it wrong. And they just panic, and then that panics you. And I remember I made the mistake of talking to someone in the middle of the after the calculations exam, and just in the little break bit before the clinical paper, and they were like, I got this for this question. What did you get? And I didn't get what they got, and then I realised, oh yeah, I got that question wrong, because only the penny dropped after that. Oh yeah, that wasn't the method I was supposed to use. I was supposed to use this method instead. And the unfortunate thing about finishing with an exam is that you always remember the questions that you got wrong. You never focus on the questions that you get right. And just before they're doing a clinical paper or doing another paper after, you don't really want to dampen your confidence. So just to everyone, don't talk about the paper once you've done it. Once you've done it, it's done. You've put your answers, someone else has put their answers. Just don't talk about it after. It's like Fight Club. Don't talk about it. Then after that, you go and sit into the clinical paper. At this point, you will not allow your calculator. Also worth mentioning, smartwatches won't be allowed either. Mobile phones need to be turned off, not on silent, turn them off, put them in your bag. And yeah, no calculators. So there could potentially be calculation questions that come up in the clinical paper, but they will be doable without a calculator. So don't panic about that. And then you do your clinical paper, then you finish your clinical paper, and it's freedom. And you're done. And it's a really weird feeling. I actually thought I would be like, oh my gosh, I've done the exam, I'm ready to party, da da da. Actually, I was exhausted. I was so tired, and I just wanted to go home and sleep. Yeah, I'm not that exciting, but and actually a lot of people felt like that as well. They just wanted to just relax their mind and go to sleep and not have to think about clinical or calculations for a while. So it's the strangest feeling, but it's also the nicest feeling, knowing that it's all done with. And once you have done the exam, just put it out of your mind. Don't stress about, oh, I realised that I've done that question wrong, and I should have put this for this answer, and actually this for this answer, or maybe I should check in my notes what the answer was for this question because I'm not sure if I got that right. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself, because it just makes you paranoid and it just gets you overworked, and there's just no point, because really and truly, once you've done the exam, you've done it. Once you've left that room, it's done. So why put yourself through that mental torture of, should I put this, should I put that, did I get this right, did I get that right? Just be proud of yourself that you've done the exam, that you got through these hard months of pure graft and dedication and hard work, and then it's done with. And now you can just breathe and you can relax. And some of you might have work the next day, which, I mean, is not the nicest thing, but at least when you go home after work, you won't have to be thinking about, oh, I need to be revising this chapter of the BNF tonight, or I need to read up these pages of the MEP. You can just relax and enjoy your time doing whatever it is that you want to do. And it's one of the simplest pleasures, but really and truly, even a year after doing my exam, I love that on most days I can just come home and just chill, put on some Netflix, watch something or another, just completely relax your mind and put the day behind you and not have to pick up a book of any form or any sort. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you have any other questions or queries, please feel free to contact me, to message me, to comment, to send a carrier pigeon, whatever works best for you. And until next time, good luck with your revision and happy revising.